Holocaust-surviving professor of the history of Nazi Germany and the Jews, an anti-Semite, pro-Israel diehards endlessly claim that if you criticize Israel, you hate Jews. But UCLA professor emeritus Saul Friedlander, a Jew, has repeatedly criticized Israeli brutality and injustice toward Palestinians. He survived the Nazis as a child by the grace of French Catholic nuns who sheltered him, but both of his parents were caught and killed at Auschwitz. Friedlander moved to Israel as a teenager, served in the IDF, and later worked under Shimon Peres when he was vice minister of the IDF. He even spent time as a secretary to the president of the World Zionist Organization. And he still doesn't approve of the Israeli government's treatment of Palestinians. Decades ago, he began to question the government's usurpation and occupation of Palestinian land. He understands that many Palestinians are innocent despite zealots' claims that they're all terrorists and all support Hamas. He's acknowledged the terrorist component of Israel's founding and that the Israeli government helped create Hamas. He repeatedly and forcefully criticizes Israeli settler violence against Palestinians and has called Netanyahu's political coalition a monster. Friedlander has also criticized the Israeli hard right, both for exploiting the Holocaust and using rhetoric reminiscent of 1930s fascist regimes. His story proves it's possible to question the Israeli government and its treatment of Palestinians without hating Jews or denying or minimizing the Holocaust. He's literally one of the world's foremost scholars on it. It also shows how important it is to question everything, including and especially your most deeply held biases. Don't get me wrong, he still supports Israel's existence. He doesn't support Hamas, he believes Israel has a right to defeat the group, and he's disturbed by anti-Semitism. As of the end of 2023, he stopped short of calling Israel's attacks on Gaza a genocide, whereas other Jewish academics, including a former student of his turned Holocaust historian Omer Bartov, have since unapologetically called it a genocide. Even so, in the summer of 2023, Friedlander signed a petition criticizing Israel's illegal occupation of millions of Palestinians in the occupied Palestinian territories. That petition argued that Netanyahu's judicial reforms were ultimately intended to tighten restrictions on Gaza, deprive Palestinians of equal rights both beyond the Green Line and within it, annex more land, and ethnically cleanse all territories under Israeli rule of their Palestinian population. It condemned the fact that Palestinian people lack almost all basic rights and face constant violence. The petition also criticized a culture of Jewish supremacy and American Jewish billionaires funding the far-right regime. I may not agree with Friedlander's continued support for Israel despite all his objections. You can watch my other videos for my assessments of the Israeli government, but I can still appreciate that despite this support and his past trauma, he still has the capacity and principle to condemn the government's most brutal psychopathic behaviors. If a Holocaust-surviving professor of the history of the Third Reich and Jews who once served in the IDF can question the state of Israel, then why can't you?